Okay, I'm going to do a monthly reading for the sign of Aquarius. I'm going to do a classic cross reading today, and then we'll do some clarifiers. Okay, so for you in the reading today, it's going to be the 10 of Wands. So that means really you've been working through something that's become too much of a burden, whether it's something that you wanted to do or not. It's something that's become more work than you bargained for, or just much more painful a process than you were originally considering when you started the venture. The crossing energy to that is the 7 of Wands. So really that means that you're still really passionate about this venture that you're working on, and you're still very dedicated to defending what you want out of it. Crossing energy usually means that that could be something that is exacerbating the problem. So it might be that you're so focused on defending your position that you could be making it worse actually by being really dogged with how you are defending your position instead of keeping your eyes open to other possibilities perhaps. So in your focus location, it's going to be the 6 of Wands. So it seems to me with all of these Wands cards, you're really focused on the desire of this pursuit. And with the 6 as your focus, it's really about you looking at what other people are thinking about this. So sometimes that can be a little bit like, oh, I'm really interested in the accolades of finishing this project. But sometimes that can just be like, I want the recognition that I worked on this, that I really tried, and that I am going to take it to the finish line. With the 10 of Wands being you, it means that you're going to finish this. But your focus looks like you're really interested in people taking note that you're doing this. In your past position, it's the King of Cups. So in the run-up to this project that you're working on, you really went through a lot of emotional setup to be able to get to this point. The King of Cups really is usually about also creating protections for yourself emotionally. So this could be something that you have a lot of experience in actually in this type of situation, and you know how you want to keep those separations between your feelings about it and how you pursue it. In your unconscious location, it's going to be the Page of Wands. So I think that kind of to me means that you may have been a little over-focused on how you were dealing with the emotional side and less focused with the real fleshing out of the project and how it was going to work. The pages usually are about more student or childlike approaches to something. So with that Page of Wands being in your subconscious, I think it's, you have a lot of fruits of your labor, but there may still be some aspects of the project or the thing you're pursuing that you haven't really advanced your strategies on. As far as your future location, it's going to be the 8 of Swords. So to me, that means as you move through finishing this pursuit, you're going to start to potentially get in your head about how it went, as far as like, if I can just game out mentally how things could have gone, you know, maybe I can, in the eventualities, avoid any pitfalls. But what really ends up happening in that kind of like mental gymnastics kind of level is that you end up really giving yourself too many blockages. Whereas what you're really being led to do is to learn through the wand energy, to learn through the pursuit, different ways to pursue. And the mental overworking is really going to start to hamper you more. As far as your attitude toward the situation, you've got the Five of Wands. So I think that really shows, and the difference between your focus and your attitude is that you're ready to fight, basically, about what you feel is right in the situation, which, you know, not necessarily a bad thing, you know, depending on who else is involved, it could be something that you need to do. But I think it's good to know when that's your attitude surrounding the situation, to know that you might be a little trigger happy with that. The attitude surrounding you in the situation, so the attitudes of others, and the energy of others that are around you, is going to be the Nine of Cups. So really that's about self-acknowledgement of achievement. So I think in your direct environment, there are people that are maybe a little more concerned with their own thing that they've got going on, and not really paying too much attention to this effort that you're working through. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but I would keep in mind that maybe not so many people are waiting to, you know, mix it up with you about it. They're in their own lane, kind of. So you might not need to defend as hard as you might feel like you do. In your hopes and fears, you have the Hierophant. So I think as an overall goal, it feels like a hope for you is that this is something that you can continue on with in some sort of either teaching capacity or mentoring capacity, this thing that you're developing and working on. So that's a great hope and dream of something that you're pursuing, for sure. As far as a possible outcome, we've got the Six of Cups. So I think really what that points to for me, as a possibility, is you being able to look at the completion of this pursuit in a positive light, pretty quickly, as in, while it may be a little bit strife now, that you're going to have the ability to look back on this and be like, wow, look at what I learned. Look at, you know, look at the building blocks that gave me to move into this new part of my life. But that you can look back on it fondly. And then we'll do bottom of the deck. I like to do, we've got Knight of Swords. So I see that as sort of like a continuing eventuality, if things continue to go this way. For Knight of Swords, I think that really points to me, just a quickening of the pace of how these types of pursuits move on for you. If you can really look back on how you finish this in a positive stepping stone kind of light, that it will continue to quicken the pace and move you forward in the way that you'd like. We're going to do some qualifiers on this eventuality situation, just to see what we can glean from that. Three of Pentacles, Ten of Cups, and Knight of Pentacles. Great energy to see as an eventuality for this pursuit. Not only being able to, Three of Pentacles, really work together in a team atmosphere with what you're working on, but with Knight of Pentacles really having the forethought and the planning to make this thing a true reality in multiple different ways, both in the physical manifestation of how this works, but also just in the way that you pursue it. It's going to be steady. And then Ten of Cups is really fortune after difficulty, as you move through this, really feeling like you are able to turn the tide of any difficulties you've had into really exactly what you've desired out of it. So overall, I think a really positive reading for March for what you're working on. The only thing to watch out for is just not getting too much in your head about it.